What's up, YouTube? I've got a Guy Fieri Creepypasta today. I've read some Guy Fieri fan fiction-y type stuff before. Guy Fieri and the Fury in My Heart, specifically. That one was really funny. I read that over on my Twitch channel. And I actually heard about this one from a friend who listens to Last Podcast on the Left. He said that they read this and it was really funny. So I've only heard about it and I don't really know what's going to happen. And we're going to experience part 1 and part 2 right now. Alright, this is by a Reddit user named Jordan Rotten13. I'm pretty sure that he is the author. Here's my original Guy Fieri story if anyone wants that too. Okay, Guy Fieri, My Curse, My Flavortown. One night, I had a tough time falling asleep, so I decided to take a stroll through the woods. And little did I know, little did I know it was only the beginning of the nightmare that is now my life. It was around 1:45 a.m., a brisk night, a still night. Armed with my flashlight, I walked straight into the forest on the outskirts of my town. In hindsight, I should have noticed how quiet it was, especially for it being a forest in the summer. I should have noticed the lack of any noise. There wasn't even a breeze. Suddenly, there was the sound of branches breaking, as if someone were tearing them straight off the trees. I panicked, thinking there could be a bear or some other horrible creature ready to pounce. Little did I know it was something so much worse than that. Something far worse. I stopped walking and cocked my head to the side, hoping to hear the sound of footsteps, so I would know which way to run if it came to that. I also picked a couple loose stones from the ground, mostly to just calm my nerves. A loud woo! I wonder what that's supposed to be like. Woo! Obliterated the silence. It sounded as if Ric Flair had a throat lubricated with bacon grease. The wrestler? I don't know. I don't really know anything about wrestling, so I don't know what Ric Flair's voice would sound like if it was lubricated with bacon grease. I could also smell how do you smell a noise? I could also smell the noise. I flipped the switch on my flashlight to try and hide my location. A loud thumping accompanied feet. Oh, wait a minute. A loud thumping. A loud thumping accompanying the noise. And in the light of the full moon, I saw a human shape come around a tree in front of me. It was about 15 feet away and nearly 6 feet in height. I heard a loud sniffing sound, and I could see the outline of its head turn my way. It started coming closer, and I started to feel adrenaline pump into my system. I turned tail and ran. I was sprinting as fast as I could, and this guy was easily keeping pace with me. I tripped and rolled onto my back, knowing that in only a few moments, my life would be over. As a last-ditch effort, I decided to turn my light on and maybe blind my pursuer. I waved the flashlight around wildly, hoping to catch his eyes in the light. Large black eyes reflected back, and I nearly peed my pants, thinking for a moment that I was looking at some extraterrestrial being. Once I took a moment, though, I realized that it was sunglasses. Who would wear sunglasses while in the forest at 2 a.m.? Why would anyone do that? I took in the rest of this guy's outfit: track pants, snakeskin boots, and a bright green bowler shirt with embroidered flames rising up from the bottom. Of course, it has to have the flames. The shirt was also streaked with some dark liquid that I couldn't identify. I raised the light back up to the man's head. He had a black goatee with a bleached streak down the middle, like a racing stripe, and bleached spiky hair on top of his head. He looked weirdly familiar, like I had seen him somewhere before. Maybe at a local racetrack. Maybe he had passed in the street or something. I couldn't place him. He started to giggle as he approached me and opened his mouth. Without moving his lips, I heard this sentence emanate from him. "You're taking the gobble full throttle." He charged after that. He charged. He's like a fucking... he's gonna fucking eat this guy. Still laying prone on the ground, there was little defense as he belly flopped on top of me like an inept diver. The wind was very nearly knocked out of me, and he tried to pin me down. I grabbed hold of his arms and realized that they were also covered with the same dark liquid that was on his shirt. It was barbecue sauce. I screamed, and he yelled, "The sauce is money!" And with a sudden movement, bit deep into my shoulder, tearing a chunk out of the muscle. He twisted his head from side to side like an alligator and pulled his head back. He swallowed my flesh as I lay there sobbing. Shit, where did I lost it. He swallowed my flesh as I laid there sobbing, knowing that my life was over. I could feel the lifeblood pumping out of my shoulder with each beat of my heart. He made a smacking sound with his lips and said, "I could put this on a flip-flop and it would taste good." I could put this on a flip-flop and it would taste good. He then climbed off of me and flipped his sunglasses to the back of his head. I had a moment of clarity and realized this monster, was Guy Fieri. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "Now that you bear my mark, you shall walk the earth for all eternity. You will haunt diners, drive-ins, and dives." One of his fucking, one of his TV shows. You will haunt diners, drive-ins, and dives until the sun burns out and no life is left on this planet. I'm driving the bus to Flavortown and you're coming along for the ride. Love, peace, and taco grease. And with that, he let out a long bubbling sigh. What does that mean? Like he's like he eats like so much fried chicken that the grease is just like in his fucking lungs. His body started to shake and convulse, and I noticed that his skin and clothes were sloughing off, falling in chunks to the forest floor where it started to sink into the dirt. Soon only a skeleton remained, and that too crumbled away. I forgot all about my shoulder as a new horrible agony racked my body, causing me to twist into my side and curl in the fetal position. I puked uncontrollably and shook. It felt as though my skin was splitting. The dropped flashlight illuminated my body as I looked down and saw that I was correct. Huge splits were running down my arms, and I felt like the same could be happening to my legs. In the splits, I could see something bright yellow, and I couldn't make it out as a fresh wave of pain hit me. My head seemed to stretch and bulge as something forced out of the back of my head. I was on the ground screaming for what seemed like hours. At some point, I blacked out. I awoke and realized that my voice had completely been destroyed from the screaming, but I also realized the pain had started to subside. I looked down and saw my skin and clothes littering the ground around me, as if I had cast them off. I felt my face and realized I had grown a goatee. Oh god, he's become Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri is like a fucking vampire. He fucking bites you and you turn into a dude with spiked bleach blonde hair that likes hamburgers a lot. Where was I? I felt my face and realized I had grown a goatee and sunglasses. He grew sunglasses. The sunglasses are part of Guy Fieri. And were now sitting on the back of my head snugly. He does wear them like that on the back. I stared down at my arms and saw tattoos that were never there before. Framing my arms was a yellow short-sleeved shirt with flames printed on the sleeves and bottom. It hit me like a ton of bricks. My worst nightmare had come true. I was Guy Fieri. Alright. That was part 1. This is My Curse, My Flavortown, part 2. Flavorbound. Wait, what's the, this is Hellraiser. What's the second, the second Hellraiser is called? Hellbound, I think? I can't remember. I know there is one that's called, Hellbound. I sat on the floor of my kitchen in a circle of candles. Wreathed in the shifting, flickering light, I was working on opening the device. Oh, it is a Hellraiser reference, because opening the device, it's got to be talking about the fucking what is it called, the cube or whatever. I was working on opening the device. It was triangular in shape and was made of wood or metal. It was tough to say. The puzzle had what appeared to be representations of pepperoni and cheese on it. Somehow I had to reconfigure into a pizza slice if I wanted to open the portal to Flavortown. Hours passed. I was making progress, twisting a pepperoni here and realigning some cheese there. I moved my fingers along the crust, and almost imperceptibly, I felt a click. I knew I was almost there. I spun the crust around, and suddenly I heard the tolling of distant bells. Taco bells. And a glowing, almost neon, blue light started to pour in from every crack and seam in the room. I heard the cans of Mountain Dew in my fridge explode. The various bags of chips and other junk food started throbbing and pulsing. They too eventually burst open. I turned to my right, and suddenly there was an open doorway where just seconds ago there was a blank wall. Fog filled it, and it was lit by that same blue light. I couldn't make out anything past the entrance, but I knew this was my ticket to Flavortown. A man-sized shape formed in the fog, but I could barely make it out. It started to approach me and eventually stepped into my kitchen. The stories were true. The pizza puzzle had been solved, and the mayor of Flavortown himself, Guy Fieri, was now in my house. He looked different. He was wearing the bowling shirt. He wasn't wearing the bowling shirt. Instead, he had on some kind of latex and leather contraption that... He's a Cenobite. He's a fucking Cenobite. He had on some kind of latex and leather contraption that did not fit him in the least. He was pouring out of the outfit, his blubber bursting through small square holes. It almost looked like the holes were purposefully tightened around the flesh, as blood leaked from them and the skin was blackening as if dead. He had his trademark sunglasses on and the same hair, but his overall skin tone was now bluish gray. He had spatulas and other cooking implements tied around his considerable waist. What are you? I asked. An explorer in the further region of taste, a demon to some, angel to others. He took a step towards me and extended his hand. Come, you solved the slice. You must come with me and taste our pleasures. I decided to take his hand, but I declined to take his hand, but I followed him nonetheless. He walked for what seemed like eons through labyrinthian corridors. My sense of smell was being constantly assaulted by new and varied scents, some amazing, some so bad I couldn't even imagine what they could be coming from. The corridor finally opened up into a wide plateau. Above everything, there was a gigantic floating burrito. It was impossibly large, and could be the origin of the various food smells. Flavortown seemed like it would be a lot nicer than this when I heard the stories. The burrito let out a large blast of sound, almost like some kind of foghorn. My mind could barely comprehend what I was seeing. Oh my God, I muttered. No, this is mine. The God I serve. Oh, no, this is mine. The God I serve in this world and yours. The God of flavor, hunger, and grease. My God, Burritothon, God of Flavortown. I gasped for air. The stench of this massive, shifting burrito was starting to overpower me. Starting to make me have flashbacks of meals past. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted to taste, to smell. You wanted a one-way ticket to Flavortown, and now you have one, Guy Fieri shouted and chuckled. Behind me, I heard a noise like greased-up ball bearings moving a slab of wood. Guy took a step towards me and declared, "My God wants someone to taste what it's created, and I brought you." He shoved me hard in the chest, and I fell back, immediately landing in what appeared to be an open, upright coffin of some kind. Something restrained my arms and legs. I had a split second to look down and saw oversized forks and spoons holding me in place. A sharp stabbing pain erupted from my side, and I saw a tube full of what looked like Crisco impaling my side, pumping me full of the substance. More spoons and forks held my head in place, with my mouth open. An arm made of what looks to be sausage and bacon dropped down in front of my face, jamming itself into down my throat. I couldn't breathe. The smells and pain were overwhelming. I blacked out. I awoke being held at a 45-degree angle, still restrained, although now my head was free to look around for all good that did me. The room was nearly pitch black. Guy approached me with a grin plastered to his cold face. He removed his sunglasses, and I saw that his eyes were sewn shut. I gave up a lot to become what I am now. Sight is meaningless to me, so I cast it off. It is all but that taste, brother. I'm gonna show you the light, and you're gonna join my culinary cabal. I'm about to knock your socks off with this fresh take on a classic. When I put this in your mouth, you're gonna feel like an ATM, 'cause this is money. He stepped out of view and returned with a wheeled cabinet not unlike those you would see a cadaver on in the morgue. It was covered in macaroni and cheese. He took a large spoon off his belt and thrust it into the heaping mound, and then turned to me and shoved it into my mouth with a dispassionate look. The spoon shattered one of my teeth. He loudly shouted, "Cha-ching!" Through the blood and enamel, I could taste the cheesy mess. My sanity must have started to slip because it really did taste good. After I swallowed, he filled my mouth again immediately. This time, it tasted slightly different. Better, somehow. There was a hint of something that I couldn't quite place. I chewed more and realized that it was bacon. I looked at Guy, and he grinned. "You tasting that bacon yet? It really kicks it up a notch, huh?" He started making sucking sounds with his mouth, then smacked his lips, belched, and ate some of the mac and cheese himself. That bacon is made of long pig, if you know what I'm saying. I looked down and saw that strips of flesh were cut from my torso and legs. This and many more horrors were to be my fate for all eternity. It looks like I got myself into nothing but trouble. I want more of this. I want more of this. This person needs to write more Guy Fieri creepypastas. Jordan Rotten 13. That's fucking amazing. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I think I'm gonna go in and read Guy Fieri and the Fieri in My Heart, because that one was fucking hilarious too. Guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also check out what I do over on Twitch, and you can check out my Instagram. I put up guitar riffs and stuff pretty regular basis. Bye-bye.